think we're good. Oh yeah, pull up the Twitch too. Yeah, yeah. Bro, you're close. We're close to affiliate. Just gotta keep grinding. Yep, I got it too. Yeah, we are Gucci over here. I'll go ahead and put on the started live screen or the live screen right now. No, we're good. We're live.
All right. So, all right. So yeah. So we're live on Twitch and we're live on YouTube, and I'm about to hit record here, and we will get started. All right. You ready, Renika?
I am.
All right. Hey everybody, this is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. I am here with my amazing co-hosts CJ Cabrera and Renika Wood. How you guys doing today?
Hello.
Doing good.
Good, good, and happy to have you guys with me. And also we're all very honored and grateful to have Dan Shockley here, the man himself. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us today. We're very happy to have you here.
Well, thank you, Jordan, and your co-host, and Renika. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share my amazing journey on your platform.
Definitely. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, so I've kind of done a little bit of reading on your background and stuff, and seeing that that you went through some pretty pretty serious situation and stuff. And so for the people that don't know who Dan Drydock Shockley is, could you please give us a little background?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a retired Navy, served on active duty for 22 years. Operation Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran. I was stationed on 7 different ships throughout my career, and 3 of those were deployed to the Persian Gulf. And for my last assignment, I was actually on the ground in Bahrain, which is a little island off the coast of Saudi Arabia, when we started Operation Enduring and Operation Iraqi Freedom. I was there when we started everything.
Wow.
And
wow.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited, because just hearing you say that, it's like I'm pretty sure we're at the same place at the same time.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I actually did my retirement ceremony there at the base gym in Bahrain, and flew out of there. I did that in August of 2003, and I flew out the first week of September back to Hawaii, where I was residing at the time, and I out processed, got my retirement ID card, and then I registered with the Veterans Healthcare system there in Hawaii, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. Ever since then.
Wow. Wow.
It,
And go ahead, Renee.
I said it's just very, very impressive. And I'm just saying it's very impressive. Definitely.
And so, well, I have
Thank you very much.
I have a few questions that come to mind. One is that I was deployed to Bahrain in 2003, in March 2003, and so I did my tour there, and so that was just kind of really cool.
Wow.
And
You
so,
look familiar. We probably crossed paths over there.
I picked up mail. I actually like picked up mail in Manama and all that stuff, and so so it's really kind of like really
on base.
Yeah, I've been to that base. I've been to that naval the naval Fifth Fleet, so it's pretty cool. And so what was your rank when you got out?
I was a first class radio man.
Oh, very cool. So what is that? Is that like a is that enlisted or is that like an officer?
No, that's enlisted.
Is it like what is like E6?
Yes.
Oh, very cool. Cool. So like I never understood Navy rank, so you have to like break it down to like an E6 for me to help.
Yeah. First class petty officer is what we go by. But E6 is the pay grade.
Cool. Very cool.
Wow.
And
I used to be a lifeguard at the base pool over there also. My last 6 months on the island, I moonlighted. I'd go over there after work, after my military duty, and I'd go to the pool at night and on the weekends. So that was a lot of that was interesting. I had a good time.
That's very cool. CJ was in the Marine Corps, and so it's very cool to have 3 veterans here. So.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Good job. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
I guess, Mr. Shockley, my question is, I was reading your information on Instagram, and I was seeing about your life transition and when you were experiencing some, I think, medical challenges, and when you first got diagnosed with, I think it was colon cancer. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had my first and only colonoscopy at the VA there in Hawaii. And I didn't have any symptoms or any indications. However, the only thing we had was the previous 12 months, I had a 14-pound unexpected weight loss. And my GI doctor decided, let's do an upper GI as well as a lower GI. And this was my first and only colonoscopy. And what happened when I woke up, he revealed that there was 100 polyps embedded throughout my colon, rectum, and anus. And I would need to be referred to the certified genetic counselor, which would be right there at Tripoli Army Medical Center. Now, the Army Medical Center is right there on the same campus as the VA healthcare. So a few days later, I went over for my appointment and sat down with the genetic counselor and a colorectal surgeon. And what they thought that I had, the gene mutation they thought I had was familial adenomatous polyposis. I know that's a mouthful. The FAP is the acronym. So the way to reveal this would be to do a germline DNA test. Now, this test, it's not available in Hawaii. There's no lab in Hawaii that can facilitate this type of a test. So the samples, so blood and saliva samples, went to a molecular oncology lab in Pasadena, California.
Wow.
And in the meantime, my genetic counselor and my colorectal surgeon discussed with me that and shared some resources with me, because I need to read up on the mutation they thought I had, read about the type of surgery, and then read about life after surgery with a permanent ostomy. So being a military mindset, I broke it down into 3 phases. Now, I had 6 weeks to before the results came back, because the testing they had to do, I mean, they found the mutation was in my 5th chromosome, and it was the APC mutation, which is the adenomatous polyposis coli. Now, since I was 51 when when they did this test, that confirmed the diagnosis of attenuated FAP. And the difference between, one of the differences between attenuated AFAP and FAP is attenuated has a later onset. So normally it would be between your 50 and 55 years old is when that would, if you're going to have that mutation, that's when it's going to show. FAP, it could be as early as 18 months. And then, of course, you'd have to have your colonoscopies, before you're even a teenager for the rest of your life. And so anyway, so the mutation that, of course, I had diagnosed with was attenuated FAP, and it was in the best practice of medicine to have my colon, rectum, and anus removed and have a permanent ileostomy. So since I was already mentally prepared for this, when I was informed about the mutation results, and they recommended the surgery, I said, well, let's do it. I'm ready. So my surgery was 2 weeks later, and it was a 6-hour surgery. And I had my midline, I had a 9-inch incision with 35 staples. And then right next to that is my ostomy. And then where my anus used to be, I had 13 staples there. Now I'm 6'1", and I'm in my bed at the hospital for 12 days. We're at a 45-degree angle. And so my feet were sticking out on the side of the bed. And it was, so I just took it easy. And then I recovered. It took about nine weeks to recover. And then I went back to my activities. It took a while to get my endurance back, but I just went about my life as if nothing happened, honestly. I mean, I'm self-sufficient. My wound and ostomy nurse in the hospital, she equipped me to take care of myself. And I've been taking care of myself for the last 8.5 years. And, like I said, I just, I started my advocacy. We can talk about that in a little bit, but that's what just keeps me going, just to share my journey locally, nationally, and internationally. I have a lot of contacts over the last 8.5 years. And it's just been it's been exciting. So I appreciate the opportunity to share my journey on your platform, and, feel free to ask any questions.
Wow. I know we probably I got questions. Jordan got questions. We got questions probably. This is my last question, I promise. Just hearing you share about the being mentally prepared for that surgery, that would be life changing for you. It was kind of like, all right, let's get it done. There wasn't a lot of time to think about it, but you was prepared for it already. With us having chronic illnesses like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, sometimes having an ileostomy or colonoscopy is something that we hear about like at first diagnosis, like one day you might have to have this. So our mind is always constantly thinking about, well, when am I gonna get my ileostomy? I know I'm gonna get one, when I'm gonna get it. So I think when you shared that you didn't have that long to decide, but it was a life situation versus a death, and you say, you know what, let's get it done. And I love the fact that you had that openness and that good feeling to do that. So thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you. You're definitely a warrior. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, and I'll just interject. My mindset was I tend not to think about things I'm unable to control, such as medical issues. What I can control is my positive attitude, and that's probably 5 decades on God's green earth. Why change now? Right. And, so, I mean, it's just, and, the military also equipped me to the Marines, they have their mantra, adapt, improvise, and overcome. And I used to be around a lot of Marines in my time. So, I just, I got chills thinking of it right now, because, really, you just adapt, improvise, and overcome, because, there's, we're going to be faced with challenges, personally, professionally, and I'm all about overcoming adversity. This challenge isn't an obstacle. I mean, my condition isn't an obstacle. It's a challenge, and I overcome it, each and every day. I mean, I don't even think about my ostomy. I just enjoy life, and my advocacy efforts, that just drives me more. I send out positive vibes, I get that back tenfold.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely, and everybody here is a big believer in that, and putting out positive vibes, good energy out into the world and stuff like that. And so, so what, for your advocacy efforts, are there any, thing, that currently that you're working on that kind of let the people out there know about?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I just got confirmation yesterday. I've been working on something with a senator in Texas, Senator Donna Campbell. She's a medical doctor there in the Comal County, where I used to live in Texas for a year. I relocated back here to California, and I'll share what my the reason I'm back here for in a bit. But what I'm working with Dr. Campbell or Senator Campbell, Dr. Campbell, and her staff, I initiated a resolution for Hereditary Colon Cancer Syndrome Awareness Week. What I want to do is designate the fourth week of March as HCC Awareness Week. And right now, there's no legislative jurisdiction. So I have a resolution. She has sponsored it. And right now, as we speak, based on yesterday's email from her staff, her chief of staff, it's going to be on the legislative session, which commences next month in Austin, Texas, and it's going to be discussed on the House floor. Hopefully, get over to the Senate floor. So in the state of Texas, we can get the fourth week of March designated as the HCC Awareness Week, and that, to my knowledge, that's good for 10 years. Mm. So, but in the meantime, I relocated to California, back to California, because now I've just been referred to Stanford University Cancer Center. I've been evaluated for surgery, which is now going to be the 1st of March. And that's called a pancreas-sparing duodenectomy resection.
Wow.
Now, that's a mouthful. So what they're going to do is they're going to take out the lower part of the stomach, which is the duodenum or duodenum. Depends on who you talk to, what day of the week it is. They're going to also take out my gallbladder and then a small, I believe about 10 to 30 centimeters of my small intestine. See, my mutation requires routine surveillance. So I've been getting the surveillance consists of an EGD, a side view scope, and a single balloon enteroscopy. Now, the single balloon enteroscopy, that procedure is not available in Hawaii. So that's why I come over to Palo Alto VA Hospital. And I knew that down the road, it's very likely that I would need further surgery. And we're at that juncture now. So I relocated from Hawaii to California back in 2016. And I did a little traveling while I've been here in the mainland. But I'm back in California because we're at that juncture now with my condition that we're going to need this surgery. Now, if you're familiar with a Whipple procedure, that's the surgery that if it was like 20 years ago, that's what I'd be up for, that particular surgery. That's a very critical surgery. However, the modern the modern medical technology, they've been able to advance to where now we can do this, what's called a pancreas-sparing duodenectomy resection. Now, the surgery that I'm going to have is at the Stanford University. I have one of the nation's leading pancreatic cancer surgeons that is going to perform the surgery. And like I said, that's going to be the 1st of March. But in the meantime, I have this HCC awareness resolution campaign that I'm also going to be collaborating with my legislative members here in Sacramento, California, which is where I reside. And we'll see what we can do. And I'm also an advocate for the NORD, which is the National Organization for Rare Disorders. They have designated the last day of every February as Rare Disease Day. So I'm an advocate for them. And the reason they put it for the last day of February is because February has, every 4 years, you've got the February 29th, which that's a rare day, right? So why not have Rare Disease Day on the last day of February? So,
right.
And then I'm also an advocate for the United Ostomy Associations of America. The first Saturday of every October is Ostomy Awareness Day. Now, those 3 campaigns will be for proclamations. I'm also an advocate for the Colon Cancer Prevention Project, the Colon Cancer Coalition, the Colon Cancer Alliance, the Wound and Ostomy Nurse Society, the Wound and Ostomy Nurse Society Certification Board. Now that's in the US, and I'm also an advocate for the Ostomy Canada Society out of Toronto, a Bigger Life organization based in Northern Ireland. I'm also been a guest on their podcast series called Behind the Pouch. Find the Cure organization and Rare Revolution magazine are both based in the UK. I've been an advocate for them. Numerous articles, of course, you probably read some of them. Recently, I've been selected to partner as a patient with a rare disease, partner with a doctor, or I'm sorry, a medical student in Scotland in the University of Dundee, and the student wrote an essay and submitted it, and we're in competition. It's a really incredible opportunity. So probably in the next month, we'll find out what the results of that are. So,
Wow.
And then recently, I've been involved with collaborating with a doctor in India. In fact, tomorrow morning, I have a podcast. We're going to be going live on Instagram with that. And we're going to do a series, a podcast with her. And, it's just, wherever the opportunity presents itself. I have a large following on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and everything I do is all gratis. I've been a live case presentation for Relay for Life events on behalf of the American Cancer Society in Hawaii, California, Idaho, and Texas. And I've also been a guest speaker for Get Your Rear in Gear in San Antonio a year and a half ago on behalf of the Colon Cancer Coalition. So, but it's a lot of fun, and like I said, it's I write a lot of articles, and I'm sure there's a handful more advocacy opportunities I'm involved with that I haven't mentioned. And I'm part of a hereditary colon cancer registry at Creighton University and Johns Hopkins University. And if I could have a moment, I'd like to share the rare mutation I have, attenuated FAP, was discovered by Dr. Henry T. Lynch. So if you remember hearing about Lynch syndrome, well, Dr. Lynch is the one that discovered that. Well, he also discovered the mutation I'm diagnosed with. Now, Dr. Lynch is the founding father of hereditary cancer research, which he started back in the very early 60s. And he was among other things, he was the director of preventive medicine at Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. And my genetic counselor, my colorectal surgeon, were colleagues of Dr. Lynch. And at 86 years old, guess who shows up in Hawaii 7 months after my surgery? Dr. Lynch. So I got personally and privately introduced to him. We sat down and for an hour and 50 minutes, and we discussed my case, and we stayed in contact through the years. And then June 2nd of 2019, he passed away at 91 and a half years old. He was still going into his lab every day, Monday through Friday, for at least 12 hours. And I would send over my pathology reports to him, and articles that I had written, I had submitted to him to give me his feedback and insight. So, the rest of my life now is devoted to continuing the legacy of Dr. Lynch on educating the world about attenuated FAP and the importance of early detection in hopes of saving lives. So.
Great, that's great. I sincerely appreciate all that. I know that all that information that you just shared, and all those organizations that you're a part of, and people being, becoming familiar with those, it's gonna help. It's gonna help a lot of people. So I sincerely appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
And there's a couple of things on my mind too, but I know I'm gonna let CJ talk a little bit here.
Well, I don't have any questions for you right now, Dan, but I want to say that your story about the ostomy and everything, about your mindset, I myself right now, I'm kind of in a depression, failing medications. I've only had ulcerative colitis for 2 years, but I'm on my third biologic and it's not looking so good. And the next drug, I definitely don't want to take it. And I don't know what's after that, but it might be surgery. And I've been trying to make peace with it. And it's taken me a little while, but I find your story very comforting. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that, and and I send you positive thoughts and vibes, and hope the best for you. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm.
And so, and so I guess just to clarify a little bit, so you were diagnosed, I guess, or that the polyps were found while you were active duty. Is that correct?
No, I was retired at the time. I retired in 2003, and then I had the colonoscopy in 2012.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm through the VA, so they took care of everything. They continue to take care of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I did 5 years active duty in the Air Force, and then a year in the National Guard in California, and then at a port in Port Hueneme, and then 2.5 years in the Nebraska National Guard here in Lincoln. And the only reason I'm not in the military anymore is because of Crohn's disease. And so I got, in 2009, I got pretty sick for several months, and I did have to have surgery. I had 18 inches of my colon removed, and my ileum taken out. I had a temporary bag and stuff like that, and I definitely know that feeling of not wanting that to happen, but at the same time, through I would say that the net, especially with the medication that I have now, that surgery did help,
Yeah. Wow.
and so, so I was just curious, and so, but I mean, my actual commander, captain, it was also cool because he was an African American dude, and so I was right out there. That actually meant a lot to me that he actually came all the way from Lincoln to Omaha and came to my hospital bed, and talked to me or whatever. And I was like, and I remember saying, sir, I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to, come back, and serve and stuff. Do my, do my enlistment and stuff like that. But, I got a letter saying that I couldn't be anywhere with limited medical supplies. I was effectively non-deployable. And then shortly thereafter, I got an honorable discharge in the mail. And so,
right.
And so that was that. But but I love the military. It's not, of course, not all roses and stuff like that. Stuff happens, but I definitely, for me, it was a great experience overall.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for your service, and welcome home.
Thank you. And so so now, so this so Crohn's veteran, it's a passion of CJ, Renika, and I, and we just aim to really help people all over the world become aware that they're not alone. Just like you telling your story right now lets somebody know that they can still do amazing things in life like you're doing right now for all these organizations and stuff, and still have an ostomy and stuff. So it's cool.
Definitely.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of challenges, but we're all about, it's military. We're all about, overcoming adversity. So
right. That true grit type thing.
Yeah.
So what, so when you're not, taking over the ostomy world and stuff like that, what do you do in the, I'm sure, limited free time that you have when you're not doing that?
I go out in the backyard with my puppy Sam. He's a Chihuahua Whippet, and I've had him for 4 years now, and we're buddies. We hang out together, and it's a lot of fun. He cracks me up, and I do a little bit of reading. I listen to a lot of music, music from 1955 to 1975. There's a Vietnam Vet Radio. It's an organization, nonprofit, and they have an online radio station. It's 24/7.
Cool.
And they have a few DJs. They have like an hour and a half show during the daytime. They have a chapel. The founder of the organization is they're all military. They're all veteran Vietnam vets. They let me in because I'm a veteran, but they actually let anybody in to listen and join. They have the chat room. Anyway, so the founder of the organization is an ordained minister, and he has chapel on Sunday and morning and Sunday night. So if anybody has any concerns, they can always contact Benny Delight is his name. I'll put a plug out there for him. But
Cool.
we're all in this journey together, and I just love listening to music. So I'm what you call musically reclined. That's my term for it. I just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the music. I write a lot of blogs, articles. I've been doing a lot of podcasts. I've been a guest on a lot of podcasts in the last several months. Like I said, I've got several more lined up here. I've got interviews for other podcast appearances.
Cool.
And I'm also just recently, I should have mentioned this earlier, there's a organization called Hope Has Arrived out of South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And that's a Christian-based organization that I'm collaborating with. In fact, I have an article I'm going to be writing here in the next couple days. We did our initial podcast last week, and that's going to be posted probably first week of March. And there's a few other ones out there, like I said, that line the hosts of these podcasts, they line them up, and then we tape them. And whether it's going to be a blog or a podcast, and then they'll release them in the upcoming months. So, but
awesome, Renika.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for sharing that. And I was reading about you as well, and your analogy about life and how you related to baseball. That was so awesome to me. I was like, okay, that makes so much sense. So do you mind sharing that? How did you come up with that personally? Because I was reading, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I like how you put that together like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love the game of baseball. I've watched it. I've been to a lot of games growing up. I've got some friends that are retired baseball players, major league and minor league. When I got diagnosed, I mean, it's just one of those things, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have this epiphany, and that was one of them. I'd heard something about someone saying that, what was it? It was an announcer for the Braves, Chip Carey, Harry Carey's son. And I remember watching it on the Braves games way back in the 80s. When the game would go into extra innings, Chip would say, well, fans, we've got free baseball. We're going into extra innings. Because really, if you go to a baseball game, your ticket's good for 9 innings. That game goes into extra innings. Guess what? That's free baseball. So I thought of, well, you know what? All the sports we have that I know of, they have time limits, but baseball doesn't. So what does baseball and life have in common? We don't have a time limit. So I got chills right now thinking of it, because my life is in extra innings, so I'm enjoying free baseball.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. And I have a mantra that I had woke up one night. It was back in May of, I think it was 2015. And the first 2 words on my mind were forge ahead. And this was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, well, forge ahead. So I wrote it down on my piece of paper. And then I thought, forge ahead. Okay. Forge ahead with a purpose. Okay. But that's FAP, but I have AFAP. So I said, well, what am I doing? I'm always forging. Boom, there it is. Always forge ahead with a purpose.
I love it.
Signature my email ever since. But really, that's my life, is I'm forging ahead with a purpose. And my purpose is to, like I said, educate the world on the importance of hereditary cancer syndrome and in early detection, and continuing the legacy of Dr. Lynch.
Okay.
And when I do presentations, I actually have 4 take-home points. These are based on 4 words that I adopted after my surgery, and recovering while I'm home, because I was home for 7 weeks before I went back to my jobs. So I came up with the words attitude, faith, adapt, and purpose. And attitude, what that means is, I look at attitude as 100%. So, attitude's permanent. We could be in a bad mood, but you have a positive attitude. Mood, attitude is permanent, mood is temporary. So I say, well, I have my positive attitude has allowed me, afforded me the opportunity to overcome, my condition, my surgery, and have have a life with ostomy. So then I thought about the word faith, just in general. So what is faith? Faith to me is believing in something you can't see. So if you look outside and you see the trees, the branches swaying in the breeze, you can't see the breeze. However, you can see the effect of it. So what is faith? It's believing in something you can't see. So furthermore, I took the word faith and I broke it down. I made an acronym. And the acronym is full assurance, influence through hope. So my positive attitude had a direct impact on my faith, which had a direct impact on my ability to adapt as an ostomate for the rest of my life. And so I took the word adapt and I broke that down into an acronym. Attitude determines the ability for a positive transformation. So here I've got my positive attitude, my strong faith, ability to adapt as an ostomate, which leads me to purpose. And my purpose, once again, is to share my journey on the importance of early detection and continuing Dr. Lynch's legacy. And so the take-home point, well, those are take-home points, but there's a hidden gem in there. If you take the first letters of each of those words, attitude, faith, adapt, and purpose, what do you have? AFAP.
Yep. I was thinking about that when you said those words.
Yeah. And then also my mantra, always forge ahead with a purpose. Once again, the first letters of each of those words spells AFAP. That's awesome. And it's just divine intervention. I just wake up. I mean, I have these epiphanies and then I started, I share these. The take-home points I share at all my live case presentations. In fact, yesterday I was a live case presentation for a virtual genetic and GI malignancy conference, the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. I did it live 2 years ago. They invited me to be on a virtual guest yesterday. So they had 200 medical students in their third year of residency. They were GI residency students. And they had 2 certified genetic counselors and 3 GI doctors. And that was a live case presentation. I had 10 minutes to speak to the audience. It was amazing.
Wow, that's great. Well, again, thank you so much for for sharing your journey and your advocacy work, with us, and our audience and stuff. It's great to have you. It's been great to have you here, Dan. And I think we're gonna wrap up here a little bit. But what is I know you're on Instagram and stuff. If people out there want to get in contact with you, to support either you or or the organizations that you support, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on Twitter and I'm also on Facebook. So my Facebook is Daniel Drydock Shockley. And then, like I said, I'm also like Instagram. They can contact me, and you can, if you want to, anything, you want to share that I put out there, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you.
We're all on this journey together. So
definitely, definitely will. I definitely support
support you. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting things coming up here in the next several months. I'm getting more exposure overseas. So it's going to be pretty amazing right now. It continues to be pretty amazing.
Definitely.
Awesome. But we all wish you, success and and good fortune in everything that you do, and as far as for Crohn's Veteran, you can find us on crohnsveteran.com. You can we're on Apple, we're on Google, Spotify, Anchor. We have a YouTube channel and stuff. We have a Teespring store where you can find
awesome.
Like Crohn's Veteran gear and stuff like that, and we're always trying to expand that out. We're completely grateful for our supporters, our listeners, our subscribers, our members, all that kind of stuff. So please join Crohn's Veteran on our journey to raise awareness for IBD, and definitely check out Dan Shockley for everything colon cancer and ostomy stuff. And so, he will, and so again, thank you for being here, sir. And, safe travels.
Nice meeting you. And thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good. Nice meeting you. And thank you. I appreciate that. And we can collaborate on future endeavors. I mean, we've got it's just like I said, it's been an amazing journey, and we've got a lot of opportunities ahead of us. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Thank you so
You're very
much.
welcome, Dan. You're very welcome, Dan. And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Good day.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh, Steve Braverman
Mr.
commented on the stream. Hey guys, happy Awareness Week. Happy Awareness Week, Steve. And Mrs. Brown, happy Awareness Week. You all finally made it to a live. Hey, thank you for coming out.
It always feels like
y'all
weird,
making
like kicking people out, but I just like kick people out, like remove.
it.
Kick them out, Jordan. You kick them out.
Yeah, but it's like
Alright, I'm gonna
you out is more like I'm trying to help you do what you're trying to do already.
I'm giving you assist. I'm assisting you out.
Yeah, I'm assisting you.
Miss Brown said Dan was awesome. Yeah, he really.
I know
was
that was a great interview. That man's a walking encyclopedia of helpful information to people.
He has a lot of stuff.
So I'm that's gonna anybody who's listening to that interview is gonna walk away with like wow, like a lot of useful information. So that was really great. So so are we still live or no?
We are still live. I can end it if you need me to.
All right. Well,
does anybody have anything to say in here? We got 7
people.
Yeah, let's ask a question.
All right, cool.
Anybody got
we're doing Crohn's and colitis week. We're in our in living coachy shirts, and so so shout out to Melody Blackwell type thing. So and her team and stuff, and so and CJ's hoodie. So.
Are there any questions out there in the community you guys want to ask us for Crohn's and colitis week? We're ready to answer some questions.
Yeah,
for about 5 or 6 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes.
Exactly. So yeah, you have 4 minutes. I'm just
that interview was a little comforting too, like his mindset.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta be like that, honestly.
Yeah, like I mean the way that he just kind of. Yeah, the way he just kind of charged ahead and said, okay, well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So I can't,
get ready to get it all in.
Yeah, kind of having like a, like worrying or panicking or freaking out or having that won't change the fact that this is still going to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
And so.
I'm sorry, Jordan.
Go ahead.
See, I know we still live on the stream, so I'm not sure we'll talk about this on the stream or off the stream. So I want to respect that, but. What you mentioned about in the to Mr. Dan about your medication. So you talk about it after the stream?
No, we can talk on stream.
Okay. So when you was talking, when you said that you was going through a little bit of depression because of the medication biologics and the short term you've been on medications and that you're not seeing any benefit from it getting better. And you said that you might have to have surgery. And you kind of like get your mind prepared for this, like. What does that look like for you? I'm not therapizing you or anything, but I'm just concerned. Like I know how I felt when I went through my transition. So what does that in your mind, like what's going through your mind when you think about those kind of things?
I'm honestly not really thinking about it, to be honest. I'm just, trying to wait it out. I'm having faith in, my Solera. And, once we get to that point, I'll address it then and there, but right now I'm not thinking about it.
Good. Okay. Respect that 100%, definitely.
Well, I definitely. Well, I don't know. Well, I remember like when I was on the Remicade that they were like, all right, man. I think I told you guys the story before, but like, but all right, guys. All right, Jordan. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. You've been feeling that bad for that long. It's all over. Type thing. And so like, we're gonna get you on this Remicade, and you're gonna be fine. And like, wow, this is all really great. It's been a while. Like, and so I'm on these, sitting getting these infusions for 2.5 hours or whatever, and like every 8 weeks or whatever for a month, for just months and months. And I'm like, actually, this feels like it's just water. This feels like it's just water going through me and out. And,
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same before, during, and after. And
Right.
and not only that, my symptoms are exactly the same. And so,
Right.
and they're like, wow, really? And so,
they're surprised.
yeah, like, they're like, are you, are you
Are you sure?
sure? It's like, yeah,
Nah,
like,
I don't believe
nah.
you.
So, are you sure you're not doing something wrong?
Dan said, "What is coaching?"
All
Coach,
right,
are you do?
coaching. Well, I guess it's the I was corrected. So let me make sure I get this right. And so it's the color of Crohn's and chronic illness. It's another organization that's if we're a podcast and in a international brand for IBD and stuff, then they're an American I would say they're kind of international too, but I would say they're a platform dedicated to more patient advocacy and for Black and brown people specifically, and everybody in general. And
Yeah.
so that's so that's is that sound about right, Renika?
Yeah, it sounds absolutely correct. Yeah, it sounds good. So living in color, basically the show. So living in coaching,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
acronym for that. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Classic legendary show. Yep, yep, yep.
Also, he said, "Did you guys do pain blocks for pain instead of medication?"
Pain blocks. The only time I had a pain block is when I had a surgery and they gave me a pain block called Embryl. I think it's Embryl one time, but other than that, I never had any other pain blocks. Outside of that one, I never needed to have one that I know of. I was provided oral medication on gabapentin, but never pain blocker outside of my surgeries, which is Embryl. I think it's Embryl, EMBRE, like a long active injection they give you so that the medication lasts like 3 to 4 days in your body. So you need less medications for pain versus not. Great question, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Thank you
Appreciate
for the
that.
Yeah.
good questions.
Speaking of medications, the biologics and all the other stuff, and it's a lot. And when George mentioned about his medication not working, they're like, okay, I feel like water. Okay. When I had I was on Humira, and I was like, what in the world after Humira? Well, nothing. This is it for you. I'm looking like this time I'm going to live the rest of my life. But of course, I was in the emergency room with this doctor who was so insensitive. He was like, I got on his nerves, seemed like he was so disinterested in my care. And he gave me no hope. I was in despair. I was
Mhm.
hopeless. I think him giving me the information and made my symptoms become more intense because I was so emotionally distraught. I was crying more. The more I cried, the more I hurt. My tummy would hurt.
Mm.
So when Mr. Dan talking about having a positive mindset and a positive attitude, because attitude goes longer than mood. Mood is a moment, but attitude is long term. That registered in my head like, damn, that attitude I had was still positive, and that mood at that moment was negative, and that affected my gut. That's why I try to strive for a positive attitude always, but still I do have bad moods.
Yeah, I would say, that it's been in the last this year that, because being that sick for that long, I definitely suffered with, depression, anxiety, like that's why I say I wrote it down, like this PTSD, like complex PTSD, like just
Yeah.
all these, traumatic things that happened to me over a long period of time, because it was kind of like a combination of, you know, tough life situations, and also just my stomach just being messed up for so long. And so when I finally got that, it's really interesting, because I'm thinking, like, because I had a therapist too, to two therapists that I was just telling you guys, like.
Mhm.
And then and I think I would say, as far as making leaps and bounds in my mental health, like, really, like, that probably wasn't until, interestingly enough, after I lost my job. So it's almost like it was like a moment of clarity, like, okay, well, like, so let me do things differently here. But I know, but I've quit smoking, I've been drinking this water, I've been, like, just been a lot happier about life. But I've also, just, not been around people that have caused me, if for some reason our personalities are in friction, you know, you know, uh, you
Yep.
know, I'll say that, and there's no hope of that being resolved, without, there being, an emotional, kind of dysregulation.
I
Um,
agree.
I got a
like,
question
if
after
you,
Jordan, you're done. After you're done, I got
Yeah.
a question.
And so if you know if and so that's and so I would say this year it's like I'm coming out of it, because that smoking thing was 20 years, so that's a hard, so that's like all those old problems, type thing. So I'm trying to like get rid of all this stuff, and so I mean, so life is every day is an opportunity to get to try to
Get
get a
better.
little bit, yeah, have a different perspective,
I
you
agree.
know, you know, and so that's why I'm grateful for some of the people that we've met to that give us these different perspectives, like Dan and other people.
Yeah.
Shout
Okay.
out to Dave Chin type thing. So
My question is, would you classify depression as a mood
or an
or
attitude,
an attitude?
I would. Yeah,
Now you go ahead, Jordan. You want to talk about that?
okay. Uh,
I'm good.
I would say that I would say it's an attitude. I think because but I think the attitudes can be changed. But I think because I think that you can be depressed and still and somehow you can function, but as far as the enjoyment of life is kind of falling away, and if things get too bad, then yeah, you can start it can start impacting your ability, your relationships, your ability to work, and all those other kind of things. But I would say for myself personally, like mine just manifested in um since I didn't feel like I ever had a chance to really process things and cope with things, because I always kind of go to work tomorrow. I always felt like that, and so because of that, I just got angry, and so I was like, no, I gotta do I gotta try to, I don't like that person, and so I'm that's not when I was younger, that's not who I was or whatever, and so I'm kind of resolving to try to have this this perspective about life, like being grateful for what's going right, and
Okay.
so
So
because
I'm
mhm,
sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
yeah, because I mean there's always things going on, and so it's just trying to remind myself the things that don't suck.
hmm So the thing about depression, you asked, is it a mood or is it an attitude? You said it, CJ. I'm asking. I forgot.
Yeah.
So if we want to get clinical, and I don't want, this is not.
That was my lamest opinion, that I have no idea what I'm talking about, but that was my own personal
Oh no,
opinion.
it's good though. No, it's you right because everybody had their own thoughts about it. This is
Mm,
not to diagnose anybody. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm a therapist. But I gotta say it out loud. But when you have depression and major depressive disorder, a person with depression may have just intermediate moods of just like hopelessness or despair, but you're easy to get out of it within a matter of a day or two. When you have a chronic depression or MDD, is when you have depression every day. You have a hard time getting out of bed. You are hopeless. You lose interest in doing things you once enjoyed doing. You may have no thoughts about wanting to eat, or you may overeat. You may have crying spells. You may have thoughts of wanting to harm yourself or want not longer be on this earth. When you have those thoughts all the time in your mind, and no matter what you do, you can't get out of it, that's when you're going through depression, clinical depression. But we all have depression sometimes. Like me having my ostomy, I went through a period of depression. It didn't last long. I got right. I'm like, it lasted like about a month. I was eating what I want to eat. I come home, go to sleep, get up, whatever. But guess what? It didn't last long. I had to get through the fact of what was going on with me. So I had what you call I had adjustment disorder because I was adjusting to my new lifestyle. But
mm,
after that, I became normal. Now it's normalized to me. Now I'm all good. A person with depression, no matter how good you have it, you can have a good job, good girl, good husband, good wife, good money, and you still feel the eternal thought of I'm not good enough. I'm worthless. I don't have no issue in anything. That's how that comes about. And this was kind of scary because when a person is depressed, people be like, "Well, you depressed. You got all this going on. It don't matter. Depression don't have a face. You don't got a name. You don't got like a certain gender. It's anybody can be depressed. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
That's how it looks for me. I had a client who was depressed before that. I don't care what happened. I don't care. You can give her $1 million. She's like, I'm like, it don't because it was more so internal than anything. Yeah. Even PTSD. I think when I'm talking about my cousin today, me having that when I was that sick the time, I was so sick to where all I could eat was chicken noodle soup. Now when I see Campbell's chicken noodle soup, my mind go right back to me being in the bed. It go right back to the smell of me having this issue. It go right back to how the room smell. It go right back to how the Gatorade tastes. It go right back to how the damn Tylenol tastes. I can taste and see all that in my head. That's for me having a little bit of PTSD from the traumatic event that I went through. But then I got through it. But it still have those thoughts in my head about it sometimes too. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
So what?
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I go in, but I'm like, that passion spot kicking in.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Any more questions on our panel?
No, that was it. That was the last question we got.
I love these questions.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and end the stream. We're like
In the stream did 8:30
almost like an hour in. So
Cool.
everybody who came through, we appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for
catch you on the next
staying,
one.
for the whole time. We really appreciate it.